SABC News reporter Canny has been following the inquiry for us and joins us live with the very latest update. Good afternoon, Canny. Thank you again for joining us. Now, General Khumalo has been taking us through the WhatsApp messages between Matlala and Mogotsi today. Just take us through some of what the Commission has seen and heard today around that communication of the two, and perhaps the picture that General Khumalo has attempted to paint with these texts.
Indeed. Good afternoon to you, Mfundo, and to the viewers at home, as this analysis or lengthy process of going through the WhatsApp exchanges extracted from the devices of the phone of alleged cartel member Vusimuzi Matlala continues before the Commission. Essentially, the picture that is being painted, or rather through 6 themes, we're seeing is a picture of the alleged infiltration of these organized crime cartels and the extent to which they are interconnected, or they intersect between the business sphere, the political sphere, and the criminal justice system at large in order for these cartels to thrive. So you may remember that we are still going through the evidence that Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo is going to give to the Commission to get to the overall conclusion of why the PKTT was disbanded. He attributes it, or the motive rather, to the operations of a particular cartel that intelligence was investigating, that is the Big Five cartel, where we see that they've identified the individuals such as Katiso Mulefe and Vusimuzi Matlala as key figures who are part of the structure, overall structure of the organized crime syndicate that he alleges has infiltrated most parts of the criminal justice system, as well as the political space and the business space. So the lens upon which we are seeing these particular WhatsApp messages is through the communications between Mogotsi, the name is coming up again, the alleged associate of the police minister Senzo Mchunu, and of course Vusimuzi Matlala. In the beginning, Fundo, we see that the kind of connection or the link that the two have expands to a number of different spheres. If we begin in the first part of the messages, they were dealing with IPID. We know that IPID is a police watchdog. Their job is to look at the conduct of the police, or rather where they may misbehave. So essentially we're seeing in the messages, the picture that has been painted there is the extent to which Vusimuzi Matlala can allegedly abuse or misuse police resources, because we see in those particular messages that he's stating that there's an IPID guy. The interpretation there is that it's either he is working with someone from IPID, or him and Mogotsi were allegedly discussing the misuse of resources in order to secure the arrest of what we can only assume to be another official after the search that was conducted at Vusimuzi Matlala's home, when the team was honing in on this particular operation, because we know that IPID is particularly looking at the misconduct of police officers. So it can only be assumed or speculated that it was dealing with that realm of misuse. Again, this speaks to the theme of this alleged infiltration, not only in the political and business space, but of course how you need essential parts of law enforcement in order for your operations to thrive. Now we're going through a series of text messages right now where there are several demands from Mogotsi to Vusimuzi Matlala with reference to finances. So paying for different things such as flights, accommodation, even down to entertainment. We're seeing that a number of requests are made regarding to money and flights. And there's a message that hints toward about how much work you do and not getting anything in return. So this speaks to this overall theme of tender fraud, or alleged tender fraud, that how the pattern takes place is that, because we know that Vusimuzi Matlala was one of the beneficiaries of quite a huge lump sum of a tender from the South African Police Services. And what you're seeing is this particular individual making requests for a number of payments. And one can assume, or rather draw the inference, that this could be dealing with the theme of alleged kickbacks that come with such a nature of tenders being awarded. So once a tender is awarded, that person, or rather, creates a long list of beneficiaries who could be receiving those alleged kickbacks. And we see that the messages take place during that period of the first week of January, particularly allegedly most of the messages on January 9th, just 2 days before the ANC had its January 8th statement on the 11th of January. And we see in the text messages that Brown Mogotsi confirms that he's in Cape Town, that he needs entertainment, that he needs such and such amount for this particular purpose. So it's a number of requests that keep going, and they're endless requests where he's requesting that money. And I think where we are leading to overall is that theme of this alleged cartel having the kind of influence, or rather having the kind of participation, where they are allegedly paying towards the political events of some political parties, where they're paying individuals as a middleman to secure their interests as a cartel operating in the Gauteng province. So it's quite a deep, dark, connected web, Fundo, and I think we'll be going through quite a number of WhatsApp messages before Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo reaches his conclusion, which seeks to show you how embedded the network is, particularly in the political sphere and the business sphere, how the middlemen work, how the structure works, and how the money flows work. Even down to the statement we're seeing there by a travel agency where Brown Mogotsi instructs Matlala to make a payment to that travel agency. We're already hearing from the evidence leader, Advocate Adila Hassim SC, that further evidence will be brought to show that from that particular travel agency, money does leave that account and go to Brown Mogotsi. So, of course, several other questions to, put to the alleged associate of the former Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu, to get an understanding as to why he had all these confidential documents, why he had this access to high-ranking SAPS officials and the minister allegedly, and then, of course, why the Vusimuzi cat Matlala felt beholden or indebted to this particular individual, where he kept making payments to him as some sort of alleged reward. We'll get all those answers and more as we continue to go through that very long chain of WhatsApp messages involving these alleged cartel members with high-ranking SAPS officials, businessmen, and politicians in the country.